To become a champion, you need purpose, mental toughness, and unwavering resilience, all to overcome the trials of a long, grinding season. It takes hard work, selflessness, belief, from every superstar to every role player.
Hey, follow my lead today. Who's going to be the big dog with me?
And when you're crowned, you've cemented your legacy.
Champions, baby! Woo!
A legacy worth reliving over and over.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
This is how the 2010 Green Bay Packers became champions.
We knew we had something special. Everybody could sense it and feel it, and we were just right there on the cusp, and it was just about us like coming together and putting it all together and making our run.
We came here for a win, and we came here to grow.
One thing about Mike McCarthy was that he was definitely a player's coach, but he also would let us know that the expectations is that you be a professional. You know, this is your job, and he expects you to take care of business.
He did something really interesting that year, which I think really helped a lot psychologically. He put up in the team meeting room, you have all the former world champions, it's on the wall. And down at the front where he gives his speech, there was a blank canvas, but it had, you know, world champions. And he said, this is for us, this is where we're gonna be this year. And that went a long way. And I think that's where it started. The seed was planted there. And you could tell people just kind of had a drive to achieve that goal no matter what happened throughout the season.
All right, you guys, let's just keep our head down. Let's stay focused. Just worry about the tasks we have at hand.
Great to have you with us. The Packers and the Eagles in the NFL opener from Philadelphia.
I just think we had a bunch of good young players that everybody just wanted to get respect from each other.
Vick is hit by Matthews and sacked.
You know, with Clay, he would always give us a spark.
Clay Matthews relentless up the middle.
I mean, Charles Woodson, captain, everybody looked up to him, the locker room, players, coaches alike. He really set the tone for the secondary.
He throws the left side and a diving interception, Charles Woodson.
I mean, you want to talk about the best offense. The best offense is good defense. So we had studs on defense.
Being rushed by Clay Matthews, hit from behind and then sacked right into Cullen Jenkins.
With the offense, we had some great veteran leadership.
Aaron Rodgers was a great leader at that point in time, took his game to another level.
Snap to Rodgers, looking around, rainbows, left side, got Jennings, touchdown!
You had Jennings and Jones, and Jordy was huge that year. I think we had a good mix of veterans and young guys, and everybody was focused on the same goal.
Lofts it over the left side, end zone, touchdown, Donald Driver! And that will do it. Green Bay now 3-1.
And then had some heartbreaks in that season. We lost a lot of close games.
For the second week in a row, the Packers lose in overtime on a field goal.
In the moment, it's disappointing and deflating because, you know, you just lost, you know, and you lost another close one. And, you know, it's like, not again.
When you're losing games and it's only one play away, one or two plays that could have changed the outcome of the game, you start to take note of that.
It kind of hid how good we really were, you know, but we knew and we just kept plugging.
Better than 70,000 in the house. Bright lights, big stage. Two of the best rivals in the National Football League today, the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers.
Brett Favre making his 119th start at Lambeau Field, the most of any quarterback at a single stadium in NFL history.
You know, if we wanted to do what we needed to do, we had to get over this hump. So our mindset was, you know, let's just handle business.
There were so many things going. It wasn't just Brett. It was, we knew we had to get the ship turned around, and he just happened to be in the way. So, you know, we just came to play that day.
Third down and about 4 for Minnesota. Snap to Favre, looking right. He's hit from behind, throws it over the middle, intercepted O.J. Hawk.
I've seen an opportunity to make a play and took advantage of it. Seen it coming, intercepted it, and ran it into the end zone.
Snap to Favre, has time. Pump fake, hit as he throws. The right left side is intercepted. Down the right sideline. It's Desmond Bishop to the house. A pick six. Touchdown, Green Bay.
The stadium erupted, and I think that was like the point where we kind of put Brett behind us. as far as like a team and an organization. And I think once we did that, I think we stepped up to the next level as far as like who we could be.
I felt like we had all the tools in place to be special. And then when the injuries started coming, you start saying, oh, this stinks.
Injuries is one of the many variables that stands out as far as how many guys went on IR. As far as like we didn't see on the lineup anymore.
It can be nerve-wracking, but at the same time, the team and our attitude reflects leadership.
Just because we're down these players, doesn't mean that, that we're just counted out of this game. Just because everybody else in the media is saying that, we have no chance, it's up to us to believe that we have a chance. And, the team felt that way.
The Packers have not been a bigger underdog than they are here tonight without Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Matt Flynn makes his first start.
We knew it was David with Goliath.
We were prepared. We had a good game plan. Matt Flynn stepped up and played well.
Throws the right side. Jones down the sidelines, and he's gone. Touchdown.
We went in confident we were going to win that game. Unfortunately, we didn't.
We were encouraged regardless because we knew what we could do, even being so many men down. So we just took that and built on it.
I can't explain it, but it felt like the energy shifted. It just upshifted. It just shifted to the point where I don't think anybody's gonna stop us.
It put us in a healthy desperation.
For us, our playoffs started, 2 games before.
Crisp, cool, late afternoon in December. The Green Bay Packers, 8-6, must win here today to continue to have a chance to make the playoffs.
Drop the ball down the throw, stone 8 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Getting our leader back and playing at home was huge.
Rodgers, quick throw in the middle. He's got Jordy Nelson, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown!
We was fighting for a wild card position, so we knew we couldn't lose.
Rainbows deep down the left sidelines. Intercepted by Nick Collins.
We control our destiny, but we have to win. We had that mentality way before the playoffs started.
Packers leading by 7, 20 seconds remaining. Can the Packers hang on? Snap to Cutler, stands, throws, middle, intercepted! And there is your dagger. The Packers are playoff bound.
That's just one step in a long road of goals we got to accomplish. But, it felt good, especially against the Bears. It felt good.
We knew if we could just get into the playoffs, we had a shot. As good a shot as anybody. We felt we were a dangerous team.
Congratulations, we're 1-6. 1-6, our path has been set. Anything can happen. And I mean anything.
Well, it is great to have you with us this afternoon for the NFL playoffs. The Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles to finish off Wild Card Weekend.
Going back to Philly for the first playoff game, I think that was the game that you felt the most anxious over because we had beat Philly at the beginning of the year, and we knew that Philly, they remembered that.
That's the only game I did not let my wife go to.
Let's be honest. The only thing keeping Aaron Rodgers from immediately being mentioned with Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, is postseason success. That's not lost on Mike McCarthy. Even he this week has said it is time for Aaron Rodgers to take it to the next level and win himself a playoff game.
Playoff Aaron Rodgers has always been something spectacular. That year, I think the world's eyes were open to it.
He keeps it. He finds a touchdown with Crabtree. Throws end zone, diving grab Jones. He's got it. Touchdown. This is Brandon Jackson trying to pick his way, and he finds his way to the end zone.
I remember being in Philly, having the screen, ran for a touchdown. Kevin Elko called me and told me that I'll have an opportunity to change the outcome of this game. You can see at the end of that run when I was in the end zone, I was super excited about that because I was waiting that whole game to see what play it was, and it was that screen, and that prophecy came true.
Go ahead and put Aaron Rodgers on that next tier of quarterbacks. The Green Bay Packers hang on for a 21-16 wild card victory over the Philadelphia Eagles and move on to Atlanta.
That game really helped us. Then going to Atlanta, Atlanta's the 1 seed, but we were confident that, we could stop Atlanta.
I think we lost to them earlier that year, and so we went back with, kind of some get back, and it was just win or go home.
To go in there and just demoralize them.
Looking around, he's hit a sack for James Jones. Jones fought for it, touchdown. Throws the left sideline, intercepted. Down the sidelines, Tramon Williams into the clear, all the way to the touchdown. I don't believe it, folks. And this loud dome is dead silent. Packers to the championship, 48-21 over the Falcons.
So much was talked about, Aaron Rodgers and the offense, but as a defense, we knew that to win the championship, we needed to step up. We knew we had to hold up our end of the bargain or maybe even carry the team from a defense.
Pulling Chicago in the championship game, oldest rivalry in the NFL, that's all you got to say about that.
Welcome to Soldier Field in Chicago. It doesn't get any more traditional than this. It is most appropriate that these two throwback franchises are battling for the Hallis Trophy, which only earns you the right to play for the Lombardi.
Oh, yeah, going into the extreme weather, you knew that, his offenses are gonna be slowed down in a game like that. And so, whichever defense can make the most plays, is gonna win.
Snap to Rodgers. Now steps up in a tight pocket, throws it over the middle. Intercepted by Brian Urlacher. Cutler being blitzed by Woodson. Rainbow's left side. And it is intercepted. Sam Shields.
That pendulum swung in our direction just every week in the playoff.
So much has to go right to win. Not very little has to go wrong to lose.
When Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers and the offense isn't doing it, they have the ability to rely on Dom Capers and this defense to get the job done, and that's what's going on right now.
Snap to Haney, throws it over the middle. Intercepted. B.J. Raji in the end zone for the touchdown and an NFC championship dagger.
When he made that pick, man, I threw off my jacket, I ran towards him, and I was like, man, you just saved the day, man, and we're going to the Super Bowl.
It was a feel of joy, of excitement.
I know Mike didn't want to celebrate on their field, so we turned the locker room into a big podium, and Charles Woodson got up there and he spoke on everything leading up into the Super Bowl and how we had to lock in and understand the next couple of weeks and what that required us to do and the demands on us.
Well, anytime Charles spoke, everybody shut up and listened.
I want y'all to think about one thing. Let's be one mind. Let's be one heartbeat. For one purpose. One goal. For one more game. One. Let's get it.
Well, everybody asked me what's it like playing in the Super Bowl. Everything leading up to it, crazy.
AT&T Stadium, which was, brand new stadium that year, and during media day, you saw the booths that were sitting on the field, and they can only have a certain number of them. And I saw my name on one of them, and I'll never forget that feeling that I had. And it's almost like, wow.
I know the night before, we got our ring sized. And that kind of set the tone going into game day. It's the fact that Mike was telling us, let's go, we're Super Bowl champions already.
It has been 13 seasons since the Green Bay Packers have been in the Super Bowl. But today, a new generation of Packers takes the field. Super Bowl 45. It's the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
To be at that coin toss, I wish at that moment I could kind of just forever hold that moment where you're breathing air. If you could put it in a bottle and sell it, I don't know, I wouldn't be here today, but I'd be somewhere else.
No game bigger than this.
It is finally here.
Everything up to kickoff is nuts, especially during kickoff, all the camera lights going crazy. You know, it's like a dream. It's like a movie.
Here's the run-up. We're underway in Super Bowl 45.
I don't want to call it cocky, it's confidence. We had a great confidence in ourselves. We didn't feel like nobody could beat us, to tell you the truth.
Green Bay offense on the field for the second time this afternoon, right below us.
3rd and 1. Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, touchdown, Green Bay.
The Green Bay Packers take the lead with 3:44 to go, first quarter.
Dom Capers, his game plan was to keep Roethlisberger in the pocket. So our pass rush is not going to be crazy. He just wants us collapse in the pocket on him.
Back to throw, Roethlisberger, pump fake short. Airs it out deep. Left side going for Wallace. Intercepted on the underthrow by Collins. Right sideline to the 15 to the 10. Weaving his way to the 5. Leaping end zone. It's a touchdown!
And, you know, we all collectively came together and just had that understanding that we got to put this game away.
I thought that night before, I was like, man, why not get a pick in the Super Bowl? Who would have thought?
2nd down and 11. Over the middle, dangerous pass picked off. A collision with Mike Wallace, and Jarrett Bush comes away with it.
You know, Dom Capers calls the right play, allows me an opportunity to pick the ball off and hand the ball off to Super Bowl MVP and capitalize.
At halftime, the Green Bay Packers lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-10.
Yeah, I'm just fitting my ring for my finger.
You're feeling really good, but you also know, if you're a football player, you know the math, and it doesn't take much to cut that lead.
They're trying to make a push, which we understand that, you know, they're gonna fight back. They're a good team, but, you know, somebody has to step up and make something happen.
4th quarter, Super Bowl 45.
15 minutes to be world champions.
The Packers have not been able to stop the Steelers from running to the right side of the Pittsburgh offense.
Nobody's standing up and rallying the troops. It is time. It is time.
For them to even get coached with the thing, and it was, yeah, you couldn't script that.
They all looking at me. I got a feeling they're pulling this way.
It was amazing.
Spill it, pick it.
Like 5.
Spill it.
And off to Mendenhall. Fumbles the football. It's up for grabs. Scooped up by Desmond Bishop. Green Bay football.
Well, the Packers needed this. They needed to change the momentum.
Clay made a good play. Ball pops out. I seen it. I was able to jump on it and make a play. I actually was thinking, I'm about to score. I got to score.
Matthews with the biggest play of the game to date.
That was a play that kind of sealed the victory for us.
The game is never over till it's over. We just knew we had to close it out.
Steelers have one timeout left. A score would tie the game with an extra point, giving them the advantage.
4th down and 5. And a hope of a comeback rests with this play.
Can the Packer defense close the deal?
He looks, he throws, it's complete intercepted.
And there is your Super Bowl dagger.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
I gave A-Rod a hug. I was the first person to run to A-Rod. I was so happy.
We did it. We accomplished this goal. And this team has cemented itself in the history books.
As the confetti fell, I instantly went back to a childhood memory where I was on the couch after every Super Bowl watching the confetti fall, telling myself, I want to be there one day. It was a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
And I don't wear my ring that much. You know, everybody else gets to see the ring and, you know, talk about how nice it is. But the journey is what you remember the most.
We weren't the #1 seed, we weren't the preseason favorites. You know, we were the 6th seed. We had to literally fight. We had to earn everything we got. So I think that builds camaraderie, and I think that was the most rewarding feeling, fulfilling, something we had a plan. We stuck to it, and it worked out.
Ultimately, it was just self-belief to a man. Everybody believed the same thing at the same time. We just looked at each other in the eyes and we just knew. It really wasn't about words. It was just action, you know, just actions.
And everybody bought into their role. If you were the 8th offensive lineman or you were the 3rd quarterback, you bought into your role and whatever it is you had to do to help the team.
Sacrifice. The teamwork. I think honoring one another, even though I think this selflessness, even though you're competitive, you're competing for a job, I think those guys on that team, for the most part, check their ego for the greater good. Selflessness. I think it's hard to find. And I think that's what made it so great.
The title is back in town. The Green Bay Packers are world champions.